CEO and founder of the Center for Healing and Peak Performance and Integrated Peak Performance Services, also the author of Journey to Personal Greatness, Mind, Body, and Soul. And for today's topic, what I want to talk about is the Journey to Personal Greatness Journal. I'm a big fan of journaling. I've been doing it for over a decade or more, and I've found it's helped me a ton in getting over what I came through. For instance, born youngest of 5, Kingston, Jamaica, single mother. The father wasn't around, a mentor, and so on and so on. The story. We've heard the story before. And a lot of us let that story kind of get to us. And we carry our story, and that's the name of my next book, actually. I want to talk about drama stories. How much we let that rule our lives and affect us in so many ways. And it's subconscious, but it affects every part of your life, your story. And the only way you're going to realize you have a story is to look back. Look back at your journey. Look back at the things that happened to you. Because your story is playing out every day in your life. Whether it be good or bad, your story is playing a role. And sometimes you got to look at that story and see if it's working for you. If it's not working for you, get rid of it. If it's working for you, maybe you've gone through some things, but it's made you stronger, so your story is good for you. But what I found, most people, your limited beliefs and so forth are linked to your story, and the story isn't working most times. Maybe like me, you didn't have that father around, and I found that what I was doing was used as an excuse why I couldn't get some things done. And some people have that beginning, and they have the leg up, they have the father and the this and the that and blah, blah, blah. I had the story running in the background. And through journaling, that's where I found out that story wasn't working for me. So, today's topic is how you're going to journal. Why journal and how to journal. Well, journaling is a great way. Have you ever noticed you could tell a friend, someone at work, co-worker, whatever it is, stranger, you can give them great advice because you're on the outside of it. You're not deep in your problems where you can't see possibilities. You're taking that 40,000-foot view of their life. You're listening, and it's objective, and you're not so emotionally engaged in it. So you can tell them, and great. You give some great advice. Amazing. Dr. Phil has nothing on you. Everyone has that capacity in them to, if all else fails, you have that capacity in you to be brilliant and to think your way out of problems. But when you're deep in it, it's very difficult to think straight because your problem is personal to you and it's all relative to you. So I find that you just can't think your way out of it when you're deep in it. You can't put new wine in old skin, and you can't use the same brain that got you in the problem to think out of it. So putting it down on paper, you can take a breath, step back from it, and start to really investigate and take a good look, objective look at the problem you're having and find the solutions to it. So, journaling. That is the reason why. They say we think 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000 billion bits of information running through your head from, and you think about it, the food you ate, the sock on your leg, the earring in your ears, the belt on your waist, all of that's going in. Those are all input. Those are all bits of information going in. So you're bombarded. Your nervous system bombarded by all this information that we delete, distort, we generalize to make the world make sense based on our background, everything else. So when we're deleting all this information, we only focus on what we want to focus on that's important to us at that time. So based on your background, based on everything else, we do 3 things with language, as I said just earlier. We do 3 things. We generalize, we delete, and distort. When you listen to somebody's story, start to listen for that. What did they delete? What did they distort? And what did they generalize? For instance, I'll give you an example. When you delete, you might have went to a baseball game, and you said, I'll give you a better example. Here's a really great example. I had a client, friend, who went to a party, birthday party. I said, how was it? She said, there was no food there, the service was lousy, and everything was cold by the time she got it. Well, when I talked to somebody else who went, she was late. She missed the servings, she missed the entertainment, so she deleted that information. She distorted it. And when you get someone who says, everything was a mess, everything, that's a generalization. Not everything was. A couple things were here and there. So that's what we do with language, and we delete a ton of information because we can't pay attention to everything. So journaling gets you to pay attention to what's important and really put it in context. There's some people who walk around with a story for all their lives, and that story rules them and ruins their experience. Meanwhile, when you break it down, the story didn't really happen like that. When you start to put in the pieces that happened, you found they had a better experience than they thought they had. And now they can get rid of it and move on and have a better outlook. So journaling, now in the journal, how do you do it? You write down anything you want. I usually do a daily entry. So when I've done my day, I work with a lot of people, and I experience a lot of different events with them and different experiences. So I make sure I get that all out. I put it on paper, and that's how I wrote my book, Journey to Personal Greatness. I wrote it through the experiences I had with people as we went through, and I couldn't keep that all in. There's a lot of emotions coming at me. So I had to really put it down on paper and express it and get it out of my head. And I got my own stuff going on too. I got a family and business and many other things going on, and I'm human. So I write. I have a ton of journals at home, right? And I get to look back and see what I'm doing right, what I'm doing quote unquote wrong, and correct it, course correct, or slowly but surely turn it around. So that's a journal. Now in your journal you can put a diary, you could put pictures, calligraphy, you name it, whatever you want, write, print, sideways, upside down, cut out a picture, paste it in. It's your journal. You can literally do whatever you want with it. It's therapy. It's your private journal. You put it away. You express anything in that journal. And so that's why I find it's great. And it's got to be a part of your peak performance journey, part of your greatness journey is getting, and this, if you ever think about writing a book in the future, this is a great way to do it. Journal all your experiences, and you'll see you did some amazing things. So journal, got to be a part of your peak performance program, your personal greatness journey. Make it an integral part, and pick one up. Chapters have some great one. If you're locally, of course I got this one for you, the best one. But Chapters got some great creative journals that you can buy. People say, why would you spend money on blank pages? Well, that's up to you, because you're gonna paint this blank page with some amazing stories, and it's well worth it. So that is your Soulful Saturday tip. Get your journal, grab the book, get any book, start your personal journey, get introspective, tap your journey. A life lived without introspection, without investigation, is sometimes not worth the journey. You just got to stop and smell the roses and reflect. So this is Alvin Brown. This is Journey to Personal Greatness. This is Integrated Peak Performance Consulting. This is the Center for Healing and Peak Performance. And until next time, be relentless about your pursuit for personal greatness.